Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about fear. Fear is defined as an unpleasant feeling that is brought on by an awareness of something that is threatening, dangerous, or otherwise harmful to yourself or to others. So, why do we feel fear? Fear is actually a part of our self-preservation process. It helps us with feelings of knowing that something's dangerous. If you see a snake, you get afraid. If you walk out into the street and there's a car coming by, you get afraid. It's a self-defense mechanism. Now, in today's society, there's a lot of things that we are afraid of that we shouldn't be. This is known as an irrational fear. In some cases, a irrational fear can actually become a rational fear, depending on who you are and where you are. For example, I know a lot of cross-dressers have a fear of going out in public. A lot of these are older cross-dressers and people that grew up in a time when it was not very well received to be dressing as the opposite gender. And yet, is it really a rational fear? Because the majority of these people that do actually decide to go out have good experiences. They find that everything's normal. So, in a way it's rational, in a way it's irrational. That's the nature of fear. It's very hard to pin down. For myself, I was a victim of sexual abuse for 5 years. And this made me very, very afraid, not only of myself, but of others. I felt like I wasn't safe anywhere around anyone. I felt as though people wouldn't accept me, and I was afraid of that. I was afraid of talking about it, afraid of doing anything about it. There there was a very long time that I couldn't even walk into a store because I thought that people would know. And it's taken me a lot of years to get over that. Still a fear I have. But there are ways of coping with fear. Whether it's through a belief in God or a support system with your family or community or your friends, whether it's just pulling through and doing whatever you're afraid of anyway, or even just getting out and experiencing new things and realizing that fear doesn't control your life. I'll be honest, I'm pretty terrified to be transgender. Not because I'm worried that people will hate me or won't accept me, but because I'm afraid of admitting that to myself. I realized that it would probably be a huge relief for me to get on testosterone. I realized that it would probably be a huge relief for me to have top surgery. And it still scares me. I mean, that's something permanent, something you can't undo. And if I end up making a mistake, well, I'd have to deal with that for the rest of my life. And that's scary. But most fears, once you conquer them, they're not so scary. I mean, you'll always have fear in your life. For every fear you conquer, another one will pop up. But it's moving past fear that's courage. And that is one of the most amazing feelings that you can ever have. I know that there are a lot of trans people that don't see themselves as very courageous. And I want to tell you now, even if you don't believe me, even if I don't know you, you are not a coward for being trans. I can't even imagine what most people go through with it, that feel from a very young age that they have to transition. For me, most of my life has been about surviving. I only realized about a month and a half ago that I was trans. And once I thought about that, it made everything make sense. But I didn't know from, toddlerhood that I was one. Even now, it's a really hard thing for me to wrap my mind around. It's not to say it's not the right choice, but it's okay to feel afraid. And whether you go through with your transition or you don't, you still had the courage to face those feelings. And that, to me, is overcoming fear. Sometimes it's hard to know where we're going and what we're doing, and that's okay. I personally still have nightmares about when I was sexually abused. I have nightmares about when I gave my son up for adoption. I wake up almost every night scared out of my mind. And that is okay. It's alright to be scared. But letting those fears hold you back, that's a shame. Because there will always be fear in your life. Always. Just because you don't confront one fear doesn't mean the rest of them are going to go away. Yeah, I'm scared of my transition. I'm scared of what people will think of me. I'm scared of not knowing who I am and not recognizing myself when I look in the mirror. I'm scared of doing all of this and realizing it was a mistake. But at the same time, if I face that fear, I think I'd be pretty proud of myself, no matter what happened. And that's really what you have to think whenever you're facing your fears. Even if this goes wrong, would it be worth it not to have this fear controlling my life? If the answer is yes, go for it. Yeah, it'll take effort. Yeah, it will take courage. But if you can be a little bit happier with yourself, and you can tell yourself, hey, I did this. This is what I did to keep myself from living in fear. And that's all you really need. I will also be trying to post up some videos about more trans related subjects, as well as adoption, depersonalization, and anything else you guys want me to talk about. Have a great night, and don't let fear rule you.